This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, you're encouraged to like and share them on Facebook. Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce at this time presents Joanne's World of Nutrition with Joanne Seeger.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's having an incredible morning. And there's rumors around town that today is a holiday. I think it's a good old St. Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Are you actually celebrating Valentine's Day at your store?
Well, let's just say that I was going to go to the dollar store and get some, hearts and balloons and stuff to decorate the store for today. And I was like, where's there a dollar store? Where is one? And then, just as I'm making this turn to come to the station, there it is. I was like, I knew there was one close. So yes, to answer your question, we will be celebrating. And that's a good lead in to remind my listeners, our Valentine's special is we have the 2-person infrared sauna, and we also offer the Ion Foot Detox, 2 phenomenal things that have been clinically proven to help with blood pressure, cholesterol, stress reduction, anxiety, depression, losing weight, cellulite, helping restore collagen, vamping up your white immune cells. Phenomenal things. So you can get a buy one, get one free. It's only for my radio show listeners, so you do have to mention it. And it's the last day of the special stay. Now, you can book it, and for any time later, it doesn't have to be done today. But today will be the last day. Buy one, get one free. Normally, they're $25 each, so a savings of $25. And the infrared sauna does seat 2 people. So if you want to bring a significant other or someone that's okay to see you wrapped in a towel, go for it. All right, so Valentine's Day, yes. I was thinking, okay, what kind of topic can I do? Oh, wait, we had to do our breathing exercise. Cliff, get back to your station. I just remembered. Holy moly. All right. So, yes. So, newbies, welcome to the show. I really appreciate you spending some time with me this morning. So, every show, we all do a breathing exercise. Super simple. Everyone can do it. If you're driving, keep your eyes open. So we're going to take a breath in through our nose for 5, hold for 5, exhale through our nose only, folks, only using our nose for 5. Let's try to do it 3 times this morning, Cliff. Okay. So first, exhale all the drama out, the traffic,
all the negativity,
the bad phone calls that already came across your path. Get rid of it.
All those texts. Exhale.
All right, here we go.
All right, now breathe in. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel better?
Yes, I feel awesome. I hope all the listeners do as well. And I just want to give a shout out to a radio show listener, Cindy, that I met this past weekend at Dr. Ravi's lecture. She was so sweet, so full of energy, a loyal listener, telling me how she calls up her friends while I'm on the show. Hey, you got to listen. She's talking about this. So shout out to Cindy. Thank you so much for being a loyal listener. And if anyone didn't get to go to Dr. Ravi's lecture Saturday, it was absolutely amazing. He had a lifestyle coach with him at the lecture. The topic was New Year, New You. It was basically like a resolution reset in case you already kind of lost your way. The lecture was phenomenal, packed full of so much information. It ran over the time. It was incredible. Well, I was so impressed by his guest that she is going to be Dr. Ravi and I's guest next Thursday. Now, I did have plans to cover for the store that morning, so it just might be Dr. Ravi and the coach, but you do not want to miss next Thursday's show. I asked them both if they can pretty much condense 2.5 hours into an hour radio show if possible, because trust me, folks, you don't want to miss this one. It's really good information, really motivating, really simple to follow and understand. So that's next Thursday, okay? All right, so Valentine's Day, like I was thinking, all right, so everyone's probably thinking the heart topic. Should I do it on the heart? But then I kind of got sidetracked as I was making my protein shake and all the things that Matt and I put into it. So our superfood fruit drinks from Isogenics, which is like a bright pink, almost red color. Our beet powder that we put into it. And then we also have our NOx drink that we use, and that is red in color. And I was like, wait a second, how about I do a show on all the red things that are so good for you? I don't even know if I'll have enough time to cover all of them. That's how many there are. But I'm definitely going to start with our favorites that we definitely use every day. And I am talking, if I'm running low, we make sure that they are ordered or picked up from my store and brought home. That's how much we love them. And everything that I'm going to discuss today has been used for years and do have human clinical studies. And sometimes, I try not to give the word studied so much credit, because studies can be flawed and skewed and just paid for by the right company just to make it appear as favoritism to that company. But I do have to mention that studies cost so much money, and especially the studies that are not funded by companies. There's a reason, because people are trying to find out why that area where those superfoods are grown, why are the people doing so well? Why do they worship these crops? So these are the things I'm going to talk about this morning because I absolutely love them. They're affordable. They are able to be found pretty much everywhere now in the world because of the different stable forms that they can come in. So I'm trying to decide which one to talk about first. I think I'm going to talk about beets. So the good old beet, B-E-E-T. We all know it as a vegetable, and I think it's one of those vegetables where we come to either absolutely love it or we hate it. There's a lot of kids that run from beets, but I always get surprised by that because beets actually have a very sweet taste to them. And even in restaurants like Panera, when they pickle the beets and put them over their salads, it's absolutely delicious, at least to me. And beet greens can also be used, but for today's show, we're just going to be talking mainly about the beet. So if you Google beets, there's many, many websites that talk about all the amazingness of it. But my favorite, and that I kind of touted for years, I only talked about one thing that the beets would do for you: beet roots, beet greens, and that is to help build the blood, which in turn help clean out the liver. So for the world that we exist in, there's a lot of toxicity, toxic thoughts, toxic lifestyles, toxic environment, and we are up against it. And we discuss this on the show quite often, but beets are a phenomenal way to arm your body, give it an extra defense line against sometimes what we have to, consume, or, fluorescent lighting, indoor air pollution, the stress of traffic, multitasking, grief, guilt, fear. All these things have been proven to hurt our bodies, lower our immune systems. So it's beets that are just so wonderful, and it can be consumed fresh, raw, cooked, boiled, baked, shredded. Any way you want to get beets. All the studies show that no matter how you prepare it, it will give you a benefit. There are many of my friends that believe if a vegetable or fruit is not raw or juiced, then you lose many of its benefits. But for this one, for example, it really has been shown that even if you buy it in a powder form, pill form, fermented, dehydrated, cooked, boiled, you still get amazing, amazing benefits. But some of the benefits here, I didn't want to forget any, so I wrote a little list. So, of course, tons of vitamins and minerals. So, you say, oh, well, that must be true for every fruit and vegetable. Unfortunately, it's not. Our soil is very deplete, and it has been for many years. There are studies back from the 1960s showing that's when they first showed soil samples of being very, very depleted, especially in minerals, if not all minerals. Through the years, they have found ways to make our fruits and vegetables look and appear as they used to, but they definitely don't have the same nutrition profile back when our soil really was treated with the love and care that the farmers had the time and money to do. So to have a high vitamin mineral yield in today's produce market is really amazing, and that's why certain fruits and vegetables are called superfoods versus just regular produce items, because they really do hold on to the nutrient content of their food. And the other amazing part about beets, like for instance, I have embarked on being a vegan, I should say vegetarian, for about a little over a year. And so Matt and I do try our best to eat as many plant foods as possible to get the protein from them. And a lot of people do believe that only really the animal foods or the fish or the eggs give you protein, but that's not true. Plants have lots of bioavailable protein. So the beets are one of them. So there's 1.7 grams of protein in a very small 3.5 ounce serving of a beet. It has tons of fiber, lots of vitamin C, magnesium, potassium, manganese, iron. Iron's another thing that beets are really famous for, building up the blood, the hemoglobin, which a lot of people are really low in their hemoglobin on their blood tests these days. So why not add some beets into your diet? Okay. Now, the leading cause of death, I hope everyone knows this, is heart disease. Okay, so heart attacks, heart failure, stroke, the number one cause of disease worldwide, and also the high blood pressure, really big. People younger and younger. Well, beets can lower the blood pressure, and it can do it instantly. That's the best part. Now, unfortunately, it has a a short window of time that it lowers the blood pressure for. So it's about 6 hours, but it can do it right away. So if you took a serving, say you bought a beet powder or a beet supplement, I love doing, it's a beet liquid because it's like instantized. You could do one of these servings every 6 hours, keep your blood pressure under control, and not worry about all the horrific side effects of blood pressure medications, which really don't get to the root cause of why you have blood pressure issues in the first place. So definitely, you might be seeing a lot of beet info commercials. They started about 2 years ago. Everything that gentleman says on his info commercial is absolutely true. Some of them are greatly exaggerated with different superfoods, but when it comes to beets, all the claims that he makes on that info commercial are true. He's marketing a beet powder. I think his product name is Super Beets. I'm not sure, but I'm mentioning because it really is a good product. Not many health food stores, if any, in our area sell it. It is online, but definitely a great product. But most health food stores have what I have, which is beet root capsules. Dr. Mercola makes a phenomenal beet capsule that's fermented, phenomenal absorption. Again, I love the liquid. They work real quick. They keep your blood pressure regulated for 6 hours. So just take a few extra servings. So much better than the drugs. All right, so let's see what's next. Okay, so low is blood pressure, and then the next thing that everyone loves, and a lot of my friends when I used to do triathlons would always use the beetroot powder for this, is improving athletic performance. Now, some people that's just occasional gym rats or weekend warriors might not think this is a big deal. But if you've ever suffered from lactic acid buildup, sore muscles, real long recovery time where you really push yourself, say on Saturday, you do a long bike ride or a run, and then it takes 3 days for you to feel yourself again because you're the fatigue. Or if you're competitive and you've been training for, marathons or triathlons or even Ironmans for so long, and 1 minute, believe it or not, it's like funny. When I got into the triathlon world, I couldn't believe like 1 minute, or I should say even seconds, could take you from fourth place to first place. And these people take this super seriously. It's like crazy serious. So beats taken 30 minutes before your activity actually has been proven to not only help your time, your efficiency with your workout or your run or your bike or your swim, but it also helps your recovery time. So if you're training for that race, you will be able to have more strength for that next workout and you won't feel that fatigue. And that is really important when you really are trying to embark or on a different exercise. I know that whenever I get into my lazy mode and then I start back with the yoga or the workout, oh my gosh, how my body screams and says, what the heck? Why did you take time off? And you feel like you're starting all over again. So definitely beets can help you overcome that feeling. And one of the reasons why they believe that the beets give you so much athletic performance is it works with the mitochondria of the cell. So our mitochondria of our cells are just like these little efficient energy creators in the center of everything, of every cell. And we never think about them. All day long, we just, we think, oh, we need our coffee to get the energy up, or we need our soft drink or our sweets or, our little energy shots. And that's all we think about for our body's energy. But the center of our cell, 24/7, its job is to look for things through your diet that are efficiently going to be burned in that mitochondria to give your body energy for every single functions you don't know about and functions you do think about. So the beet products, anything, eating beets, juicing beets, drinking them, swallowing extracts, it doesn't matter, gives that mitochondria the perfect fuel. It's like buying the best gasoline, the most fuel efficient and clean gasoline for your car, where it literally just zooms out of the parking lot of the gas station. It's the same way with beets. So, and I know if you are a cyclist, they really have spent a lot of time on studying with cyclists, and some of these guys go, oh my God, miles and miles, like 8 hours a day, if not longer, on their bikes. So they really need high performance and high recovery, quick recovery time. So definitely, if you know anyone or you're doing it yourself, give this a try. And it's not expensive. And let's see what else. Oh, inflammation. It seems like any superfood, doesn't matter which one you pick, if it's considered a superfood, it fights inflammation. Of course, that's no coincidence. Inflammation is the first step of any real known illness, disease. The body is just basically, starting a fire and it needs help putting it out. Superfoods helps the body put it out. It's okay to be inflamed for a few seconds here and there, but not 24/7, people. We need to get this inflammation that's out of control into control. Okay, and one of the studies was that it specifically works on kidney inflammation. Now, everyone, I hope, knows that kidneys are responsible for filtering all the fluids of your body. And we have a lot of fluids, sometimes the wrong kind of fluids circulating through our body. So the beets definitely, I am curious why they decided to test the kidney inflammation specifically with the beetroot powder. But it definitely showed really good results at taking that kidney inflammation down. And at the same time, it's helping clean out the liver, which is, the cousin to the kidney, to help clean out the body as well. So what a double dose of goodness right there. All right, let's see. Digestive health. That is just a basic concept, like I mentioned earlier. Beets have tons of fiber. Fiber, fiber, fiber. We kind of take fiber for granted. If we are going to the bathroom at least once a day, we're like, oh, okay, we have enough fiber, we're good. But it's really not like that, okay? We are like infants, but bigger. And when we ingest any food, we're supposed to evacuate the waste material, the byproducts of the food that the body doesn't need to utilize for any energy production or rebuilding or rejuvenation. And so we're supposed to technically go to the bathroom after each meal. And I don't mean like what would happen if you had like Crohn's or IBS, where your stomach would be upset and you don't have healthy bowel movements. I am talking about healthy bowel movements after each mealtime. And why most of us, if not all of us, are not having this is our food is lacking in hydration, enzymes, and fiber. Okay? So you want to pick as many plant foods that naturally have fiber going in it. A very good friend of mine said, oh, don't worry, I'm buying that cereal that's all bran, or it's just a fiber cereal. And I mentioned to her, because I didn't even know it was still on the market, that really is a very coarse fiber. It's not like plant fibers. Plant fibers have there's phytochemicals and there's nutrients and like vitamins and minerals that I mentioned. And so all of the great nutrients go where it needed, and that fiber is taking everything down through the whole intestinal tract and kind of carrying it through to where it needs to go. And then all that's left for the colon is the fiber part, and that's binding any toxic substances and chemicals and kind of grabbing it and saying, okay, I dropped off the rest of my family. That's going to do the body super good and benefit them. Now I'm going to take you bad guys out of the colon and evacuate you right after the meal. So that's really what a perfect situation looks like. And I know not all of us have that perfect situation, but if we add more naturally occurring fiber, not cardboard stuck in a box and pretending to be food, we'd be doing a lot better off. And the other great part that where fiber helps digestion is the good bacteria known as probiotics. A lot of media campaigns are saying, oh, pre-probiotics are better. There's no better, there's no worse. Everything is important. We always get challenged and into a little trouble in our thinking and our mindsets if it becomes too rigid. Try never to let your mindset get too rigid where it's all or nothing or my way or no way, because I have learned one thing, and I've choked on a lot of my words, is that information changes, bodies change, environments change, the world changes. What was true 10 years ago might not be true today. It doesn't mean that we were mistaken 10 years ago. It means that the world is evolving and changing. Just like technology changes every second, it's the same thing. We have to understand what's happening now. So probiotics are extremely important. That's the good bacteria that makes everything run. Now, pre-probiotics, all that is the family of fiber that gets the whole body ready, especially the intestinal tract, for the probiotics. So not one is better than the other. It's all important. Just like the foundation of the house is just as important as the walls of the house. You don't want one or the other. You want both to have a safe environment for your family. So keep in mind, fiber is the pre-probiotic that gets everything ready inside your intestinal tract for the probiotics. So they work together. Not one is more important than the other. I crack up with social media sometimes. Some companies have an amazing social media team, and they really put spins on all these products that they're trying to get you to buy, $29.95 or 3 bottles, save a bottle's worth. And it's crazy. They really exaggerate things and make you think that it's this or nothing. But really, those are social media marketing campaigns. So learn about everything before you click buy me now, okay? All right. And then the other thing that beats, I'm going to have 2 more things and then we'll go on a quick break. All right. So brain health. I don't like working in my life through fear. And this is one I have to really fight. Like a lot of my friends, I watched my father suffer with dementia. And as much as we tried, especially my sisters in South Florida, they tried much more than me. I was here an hour away in my naiveness. My dad's dementia really got bad, and he did have to go to a home where shortly after he passed. And it was heartbreaking. I hate to say it, but I was like almost thankful that he was done with his suffering of not remembering how to go to the bathroom or what a fork is. And so there is a little fear in my heart and mind of that. So I've been studying a lot about the brain, what nutrients to take, the causes, because it's like an epidemic. Everyone's coming into my store, and every other person, it's like my father has Alzheimer's, my mother has dementia. I'm really being forgetful early in life, and it's a lot more than just forgetting keys these days. So one of the things is that there's less blood flow and oxygen to the brain. Well, the beets have been proven to help the dilation of the blood vessels, getting more blood flow and oxygen to the brain. So isn't that amazing? The reason I do that breathing exercise with you guys is not just for stress reduction, not just for lowering blood pressure and to help you focus.
Although it will.
Yeah, it will, right?
Right.
But get more oxygen into your body. Oh my God, those bad guys that, might be resting in your body waiting for a good opportunity to take over inside, they hate oxygen. They do not like oxygen, okay? They love fear. They love negativity. They love when your body's worn out and they're going to get you sick. They're waiting to have that opportunity. But you can keep control by deep, deep breathing and getting these superfood plant foods in. All right, so I think one more and then we are definitely in a break. Okay, the best one. They've definitely showed that it helps control cancer cells, the growth of cancer cells. No, everything that's bright red, actually most of the colorful produce, but especially the bright red, definitely shows cancer cells hate those superfoods. So I'm going to leave it at that and definitely go to a break. But when we get back, I have lots of others, and hopefully we can get through them all. So hold on tight, and we'll be right back with you.
Joanne Seeger will return in just a moment with more Joanne's World of Nutrition on WPSL. Archives of the show are on WPSLTV.com on YouTube. Welcome back to Joanne's World of Nutrition. Once again, here's Joanne Seeger.
Hey, everybody. I hope everyone's enjoying the show. We are talking about red superfoods. So if you missed the first half, I'm sorry about that, but we were talking about beets. And so at Nutrition World, I do have liquid, powders, fermented capsules, any way you want it. And this next one, I have been loyally taking for about 3 months. And so I'm pretty excited about this one. It's called pomegranate extract. I hope all my listeners know what pomegranates are. But if not, it's probably the messiest fruit you could ever have. Cliff, have you ever tried pomegranates?
There's a few seeds in it, right?
Oh, just a few, right? Oh my gosh. I remember the first time I opened up one and my friend sent me instructions and she goes, I want you to put it in a bowl of cold water, and as you're opening it, and make sure you wear dark clothes or wear like a an apron. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Does she not know me? I'm not doing all these extra steps. I got this. So right on my counter, I have my beautiful wood cutting board that was kind of new. I'm wearing a white blouse.
Oh, nice.
And I open up this pomegranate, and oh, what a mess. Red juice everywhere,
Did
all
you ever
over
get
my shirt.
Did you ever get the stains out?
No, it kind of was. Well, I don't keep the bleach at that moment. I wasn't keeping any bleach in my home, and the cutting board got stained, my shirt got stained, my fingers got stained, and then I understood why the big cold bowl of water. So if anyone hasn't tried this trick, it's all online now, and I've watched videos since then. But you open up the pomegranate in the bowl of cold water, so that way all the juice and the seeds are kind of saved in the water, and you can even drink the liquid. Now, a lot of the studies show that the skin also has amazing benefits, but you don't eat the skin. You just eat these beautiful red pearly seeds that are in the inside. But gosh, super messy and a little pricey depending on what time of year you buy them. Especially, like, I always buy the pomegranate juice. In all honesty, it's my little splash of what I do when I do enjoy, a gluten-free vodka and cocktail. I try not to drink often, but once in a while, that's the only little splash I'll put in there. And oh, it's so yummy.
Is that a coffee thermos right there?
So, yeah, right,
What's
right.
that?
Yeah, no
Just-
coffee thermos.
Just kidding.
Yeah, you caught me off guard. I'm like, wait, no, I drank it already. I swear. 6 o'clock in the morning, I have that.
Vodka.
Oh, see how, like, I'm not even catching on to that. But yeah, there are, for Valentine's, I guess a lot of people are going with their significant other to the movies, right? And so Matt knows that I love movies more than any flowers in the world or in chocolate. So, if he's listening, that doesn't mean you don't have to get me flowers or chocolate, but no, just
he's
kidding,
not going to
honey.
forget and then see one of those flower things on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Stop by one of
Don't
those.
buy from there.
Watch out, guys. Those are not vegan flowers.
Yeah, no vegan flowers. Oh, my God. But it's so funny when he said, honey, I want to take you to the movies. Do you know? I felt like a little bit of a alcoholic for a moment because I was like, oh, where can I hide my red wine? Like, what of my to-go cups can I put red wine in? I mean, isn't that terrible?
Yeah, but if you don't have a glass, it's not worth it. The plastic.
I know, right? It's going to lose its whole pizzazz. But, that's honestly
You're
where
gonna have
my
the
first
glasses
thought
and the bottle
was.
and everything.
Oh, gosh. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because red wine was going to be on my list today to talk about, but we're not going to be able to have enough time for that one.
But trust her, if it's red, there's usually something to it that you're going to like.
Yeah, well, the resveratrol. All right, so there we go. We covered red wine. Organic only. Stay away from the junk ones. And it has high amounts of resveratrol, which is great for your heart. But only if it's not commercially made like most of the junk. All right, so pomegranates. Again, the best news is the juice, which actually has sugar in it, does have the same benefits as the powder and the extract in eating the fruit. Most of the time, everyone knows I hate juice. I tell people never to concentrate sugar down. But when it comes to two superfoods that are red, pomegranates and cranberries, which I'm going to cover next, that they don't really know why, but the grams of sugar that are in that serving actually have blood sugar lowering effects, and it doesn't have the harmful effects that most glasses of juice have. So again, only exception, folks, okay? So don't go off on a juice kick saying I said it was okay. All right. So the pomegranate, again, it's a beautiful fruit, an awkward-looking thing, messy, but worth the work. You can buy the juice in Publix. I personally sell pomegranate extract capsules. That's what I take. Phenomenal for you, especially against breast cancer cells. So that is just one of the many reasons I take it. I believe always in prevention. Okay? There is a thought that I had, Matt is so great at remembering to put everything in his protein shake. He's like a little pharmacist, and, he opens up the cupboard and, his protein, his beet powder, his fermented mushroom blend that's called Immune. his fruit extracts. He's just like this little methodologist over there. And some people might wonder why the effort, why the time, why the money. But it's like the same reason we bring our cars in for the oil changes, the same reason we change our air filter, the same reason we get our teeth cleaned, or why we pay for health insurance, or
Maintenance.
right? It's like, yeah, it's basically prevention. I kind of sometimes chuckle a little bit when people are buying these health insurance plan for $700, $900 a month, and I know there's so much controversy about this subject, but in my heart, they won't buy a supplement that costs them, $27 a month that can prevent all the things that they're fearful about and why they have insurance. It really doesn't make sense in my heart or mind, some of that thinking. So if you ever haven't given that a thought, please do. We spend a lot of money on the fear of what's coming when we're older, like it's a definite. But maybe it's time we change that thinking and say, okay, why don't I just take all these awesome things that have clinical proof for prevention and have that as my insurance policy? I don't know. It just makes more sense to my mind, but some others might not agree. But if you're open-minded about it, I would love to have that conversation.
And then when it works for you, guess what?
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. It's like, yes, I'm not saying something in my body won't break, but at least I have the peace of mind knowing I'm trying the best I can with all that's available to me to prevent what's preventable. So that's my attitude about it. All right, so pomegranates. I mentioned earlier beets, tons of fiber. Well, pomegranates actually have twice the amount of fiber. So for one small cup, it's 7 grams of fiber. So you can take 1 cup of these beautiful little red, they're called arils, A-R-I-L-S, the little pieces, the beads inside the pomegranate. You can sprinkle them on a salad. You can make a fruit smoothie with them. You can just eat them as they are. You can dehydrate them and make an awesome fruit and nut mix. But 7 grams of fiber for 1 cup. That's amazing. And here's the other part that doubles the beetroot powder is the protein is 3 grams. 3 grams of protein. That might not sound like a lot, but it is for a fruit. Fruits and plants have protein, everyone, but that's awesome for a pomegranate, 3 grams of protein. The best is vitamin C and K and folate. These are things that doctors even promote with their patients. They're always telling them, take vitamin C for your immune system, vitamin K for your immune system, for your bone health. 36% of the pomegranate's nutrients is vitamin K, extremely absorbable. People are buying vitamin K from me every day. I sell tons of vitamin K. And now one of them say, well, what can I eat to get this naturally? But here we go. Pomegranates, folate, oh, phenomenal. If unfortunately you've ever been through chemo or any serious drug therapy, your folate might not be able to be produced or absorbed. So you need to get more of it through your diet. Unfortunately, all of any type of treatments you take that are chemically based or medications, they deplete your body of something, if not everything. And if you're not aware of this, they have to tell you this in those long 20-page sheets that you get from the drugstore when you fill your prescriptions. Most, if not all, don't read them, because it's small print, really small print, and it's very lengthy. But you can get the same info online as well. But just keep in mind, if you're taking prescriptions or if you've ever had any form of chemo, you are going to make your body have a really difficult time producing folic acid and absorbing it, also known as folate. So this has a ton of it. Okay. They're sweet, they're delicious, they're super pretty, great to add into everything. Like I mentioned, tons of fiber, vitamins, minerals, and lots of antioxidants. So we discussed earlier red wine, and so here's the reason that I decided that this wouldn't make the show, is because the pomegranate juice has 3 times the polyphenols and the antioxidants that red wine does. So what does that mean? You can get more health benefits without the alcohol. So if you needed a touch of Tito's, because you wanted a little cocktail, then you add the pomegranate juice and you get a win-win situation. Because again, it's hard to find the red wine like that they talked about in the study. These are from Italian fields that don't treat with all the herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, and their soil is like family soil from generation to generation. That's beautiful, rich soil. So if you can afford that wine, go for it. But most of what you find in our markets is not that wine.
But the more expensive the wine, the better, right?
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. I would rather get a wine that I knew came from a region that was clean, just like I do if I was ever to eat meat, versus just buy anything. Now, I have to admit, my sister left me a case of Josh wine from the wedding.
Oh, no.
So I don't want to be wasteful, Cliff. So,
No,
I'm trying to get
no.
through it.
That's
But but really, quality does count with pretty much anything you consume.
It's also nice to have friends around at the time when you need a little assistance with
True.
not wasting any wine.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I thought of something really sweet, Cliff, as I was driving here, and I don't know why it was on my mind, so I'm going to mention it right now. If you don't have Valentine's plans, this is something I did a really long time ago. I would get a bunch of little tiny stuffed animals. It was when the Beanie Babies were popular. You can get them at the little drugstores for like $1 each. And go to like a nursing home or a hospital where, the elderly are at. A lot of these people don't have, anyone visiting them. And to have someone drop off like a balloon or a little stuffed animal would mean the world. So unfortunately, I don't have plans to do that. But I think I was just meant to say that in case someone does have any time, or funds available to do that. I just think that'd be super sweet. Okay, side note, people. All right, so here's the other cool thing. So CLA is a type of fatty acid that's normally talked about from sunflower seed oil. Well, a lot of our seeds have gotten a lot of bad press because of how the fatty acids are coming from the seeds. It's almost like I talked about last time about CBD oil. When you press anything to get the high quality fatty acids, if it's not done properly, just like any protein or any fatty acid, you destroy the cell wall. Sometimes that damaged fat it's just it's like a free radical in the body, which free radicals are really bad. Antioxidants is the defensive line against free radicals, but also it could damage it to be where it's beyond even a free radical. It's like a carcinogenic. So the great news is that pomegranate seed oil, which is really stable, so it doesn't have that rancidity factor, it has a ton of this healthy fatty acid that's called CLA. Now, that has been widely studied for amazing effects. Remember, every single cell has a protective wall on the outside of it that's made out of fatty acid, and it wants to use the healthiest fatty acids like CLA, but unfortunately, sometimes we don't give it a choice, and we have only damaged fats in our diet, French fries, bottled oil, or we take beautiful olive oil and we heat it too high and we damage it. Never cook your olive oil, people, okay? So pomegranate seed oil, phenomenal and healthy. And CLA, tons of weight loss benefits too. So in case anyone's concerned with that, I don't know who would be concerned with weight loss other than a multi-trillion dollar industry. Yeah, whoever talks about weight loss. But CLA has tons of amazing weight loss studies to go along with it. So I think that's super cool.
As long as the studies does show that that what they're using works, that always helps.
Yeah, exactly, right? Well, I think too, it's consistency, and I try always at the store. Some people get really excited. They Google like 20 things, and they come in and they want to like try all these superfoods that they just read about, and that's awesome. As long as you have plans to stick with it for a while. There is nothing in nature that works so fast to get out all the layers of the years of damage that are in your body. that it wouldn't work. Then it would have probably a negative side effect, because that's how usually, if something's being forced in your body, something else goes off balance, and then you get a side effect, okay? So natural things take time and patience and a commitment to them. So really, I would rather you choose one nutrient, like, so whether it be turmeric, my Curamed product, or my pomegranate seed oil, or my Boswellia, or my fermented bee complex from Dr. Mercola. I would really be happy if you bought just one thing and committed to it for like 6 months and said, I will be faithful to this for 6 months. It really will make a huge difference. Okay, back to pomegranate seeds. So, no joke, of course, anti-inflammatory, really everything's like that that's healthy. The other one, I mentioned breast cancer, fighting breast cancer cells. Phenomenal study with prostate cancer. They were showing that normally your PSA levels in 15 months go way up, as a marker for prostate cancer. If you take the pomegranate seed oil, it took 54 months to get to that same doubling time. That's a huge difference. I mean, that's almost like 45 months longer before your levels double. And that, folks, is what we call prevention. So it still occurred, but a lot less. That gives you a lot more time to maybe make some hard changes or difficult choices that you need a little extra motivation for. So here's your time now. And again, pomegranate seeds, not that expensive when you're buying supplements. When you buy the fresh and the juice, a little pricey. Okay, so killing a cancer cell. Who doesn't want that? Lowering blood pressure. We live a hectic lifestyle. Blood pressure is a problem. We have a lot of people on blood pressure meds. They still don't have lower blood pressure. So this definitely reduces your blood pressure. And it was only after consuming 5 ounces of pomegranate juice a day. So 5 ounces of pomegranate juice a day. Now, the list goes on and on and on, everyone, but I just looked at the clock. So I'm going to get to my third thing that I haven't talked about in years on the radio show. I used to talk about it all the time, is cranberry pills. Okay, so I carry a product at the store called Cran Actin. It's a patented form of cranberry. I used to go to Utah to go to medical conferences about this one product only. It's crazy because, when they would show an actual physical demonstration on film, of course, of a bladder wall and how bacteria, so they called it bacteria back 30 years ago, okay? But now they know that it's pretty much like H. pylori, that is, it looks like picture like a spider, or even uglier than a spider. Ew. Coming into your bladder wall and attaching. Once it attaches, all men and women know, once it attaches, all of a sudden, frequent urination, discomfort, pelvic pain, just not fun stuff, okay? So you definitely want to take Cran Actin. I can't speak for all cranberry folks. It's important you choose the right one for this category. In 30 years, I've never bought any other cranberry to sell at the store because I'd only trusted the Cran Actin. The Cran Actin, when you intake it, it fools that bacteria, okay, and it attaches to the cranberry molecule because it resembles the bladder wall. And then when you urinate it out, so it doesn't have a chance to attach. Now, that's the trick. You don't wait and buy it when you have the pain. You use it preventively. So if you have frequent, urinary tract or bladder infections, this is something you buy right now, and you commit 2 months of taking it. That way you're saturating your body and the bladder area with this to fool the bad bacteria. Now, there's lots of different bacteria and molds and candida and things that also bother your bladder. The clinical study was just for the H. pylori, but most people can get results and relief with this no matter the bacteria. But usually I try to encourage the pre-probiotics, the probiotics, and the cranactin on a regular basis for 6 months, okay? And work on dietary changes. So if you're eating a lot of sugar or having a lot of stress, that's also going to bother your bladder. So, work on everything. And I do want to mention that cranberries, right? This is a tart berry, bright red. Oh no. Okay, so just like the pomegranate, you can still drink the juice, but again, organic juice, not filled with syrups or corn syrup or artificial. Don't buy diet, don't buy sugar-free, the real stuff in the glass bottle, okay? And a tiny amount actually does have amazing heart benefits, blood sugar benefits, antioxidants. All right, guys, well, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you have an amazing week. I'm hoping to be here next week, but if not, Dr. Ravi and the lifestyle coach, Mitsu, beautiful people inside and out, will be here. Have a great one. Thanks, everybody.
Keep those red things in mind: beets, pomegranates, cranberries, and keep this show from the archives on WPSLTV.com. That's YouTube. Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World, across from City Hall, US 1 between Orange Avenue and Avenue A in downtown Fort Pierce.